The countdown is on for 2018, and a lot of us probably planning our celebrations, whether we're going out, whether you're hosting people at your house. Champagne, wine, those are staples for New Year's Eve typically for all those celebrations, but not all's created equal, and Brandon Scott's kind of getting us a sample of some of the options from Debb's liquor store on Phelan in Beaumont. He's talking with an expert there about champagne, wine, and Brandon, have you got the skills down now to open that bottle? You're not going to hurt anybody?
Mainly, we want the audience to take everything away, and worst come to worst, I'll get somebody else. I'll coach somebody through it, someone who I might trust a little bit more, someone who maybe is a little handier than I am. But yeah, a lot of options here at Debb's Liquor on Phelan in Beaumont. There's plenty of options from wine, sparkling wine, to obviously to champagne. And so Gerald is going to go over some of these things with us. Gerald, tell us a little bit about some of the options and some things that folks might consider going into the holiday.
Well, you know, I explained earlier that sparkling wine is made all over the world. And champagne, of course, is only made in France. But everything else is called sparkling wine. So, yeah, the varieties that we have from France range, generally prices are in the 30 on up into the hundreds of dollars, okay? And if we walk then, California, wonderful selections in California. A lot of French companies are now doing business in California and make excellent sparkling wine and from the traditional method. And those will start in the mid-teens and work their way up into the 20s and 30s. And then Italy does an excellent job. Prosecco has taken off big time, and that is their dry sparkling wine. As we move down here, we have Proseccos. Okay. Yeah, and then their sweets, of course, are the dolces, Asti Spumani's, very, very sweet. You know, and we're looking in the low teens for all these bottles, you know, and Prosecco works its way up.
What is it about the Prosecco that seems to be popular?
I think it's what you get for the money. From $12 on up into the mid-20s, you really get a nice bottle. And I think people have learned to pronounce Prosecco, and they like doing it. It was like when people learned to pronounce Puy Puissé from France. You know, all of a sudden it got really popular. You know, and you sounded very knowledgeable when you did that. Just my opinion, but you know,
it rolls off the tongue.
It rolls off the tongue.
Moscato rolls off the tongue.
Moscatos are very, very popular. Some are made more in an effervescent style. Some are made with a full sparkling, you know, champagne style. Like we mentioned earlier, the Sweet Bitch is a sparkling Moscato that's got full pressures. Another area is Spain. A lot of Spanish cavas. That's what the cava is, what the word they use for their sparkling wine. Excellent values, and they may make from dry to a medium dry wines is mostly what we see, or what we call an extra dry. And we recommend a lot, especially we were talking about mimosas earlier. Remember? Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So give us a little bit backstory on mimosas. You were telling us that how they were originally formed and made, and now it's a little different.
Yes. The original mimosa was really made with French champagne and fresh squeezed orange juice. It was a very delightful cocktail. Over the years, it got sort of dumbed down, and people thought that you were only supposed to use the cheapest of sparkling wines to make a mimosa, and of course, just buy your orange juice from a store, you know, in the jar or the carton. And and people still had that mindset. But now, so we try to upgrade them a little, so, and that's why we recommend the cavas, because it's a good price value. It is traditional method of making a sparkling wine, just like the French champagne. It makes a good mimosa without going overboard. But
you used the key word just a moment ago, recommend. I know a lot of people, you go to a store, you're expecting a salesman, someone to try to sell you something, but you guys mainly do recommendation and advisement, so to speak, right?
Oh, yeah, we try to fit people into what they really want. One thing we try to do is not oversell. You know, it's just, you never have a return customer if you do that, if you make the customer unhappy. So yeah, try to figure out what they're kind of looking for and then recommend something to them. So that's what we do.
And Jillian, to a point that you made earlier, a lot of these bottles sell themselves with the marketing. Gerald, you obviously are aware of that. You know, some of the way that they're styled and what they're called and what is on the bottle a lot of times will determine whether or not they're popular and if they're sold. Would you agree
Oh,
with
I
that?
totally agree. Labels sell a bottle, and you know, I like the sweet bitch. And if we back up just a little, packaging is very important. This particular wine, the Ace of Spades, French champagne, very expensive, in the $300 range. But I mean, the packaging is just impeccable. The wooden box, the case that the wooden box comes in. You know, even things like Cristal, Rotor Cristal, you know, they're known for that bottle and that cellophane.
All right, so we are at the Debb's Liquor on Phelan in Beaumont. Back to you in the studio, Jillian.
All right, thanks, Brandon.